everybody, thanks for joining me today. I'm Carla from Cathedral Art School, and today I'm going to be doing an art tutorial on Zentangle art or doodle art. This is a super easy one that you can do at home with very few materials. All you really need is a pen and a piece of paper. So if you have those things handy, you can join us and follow along. If you bought one of our Zentangle art kits, you can open it up, get all your tools and everything ready to go, and follow along. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is get all of your supplies and materials ready to go. So if you have some white paper at home, just some regular printer paper will work. For this, we're going to be using a cardstock. It has a nice smooth finish on it, so it works really nice with the pens. And ours, if you purchased the kit, you would have received some cardstock that was cut down into squares. So you would have had a 6x6, and you would have also had 3x3 squares in your kit. Then you want to make sure you have some pens available. If you have some fine tip markers, those work really great. What we're going to be using today and what we included in our Zentangle kits are the black Pigma Micron pens. So depending on which kit you purchased, you might have got one of these or you might have got two of them in your kit. And they have different thicknesses of pen tips. This is just a black fine liner pen. You would have also received a variety of colored pens as well in a different brand. So if you don't have these at home, like I said, a regular old pen will work, or a fine tip marker works really good as well. Okay, so if you are working on just a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet, what I always suggest is breaking it down into a little bit smaller chunks. So you can take a ruler, or I'm just going to use the edge of another piece of paper. And I'm just going to draw out a few squares on my paper where I'm going to do my tangle drawings. Okay, so that would be the space that I'm going to work in. If you have the kit and you have the pre-cut papers, then you'll just pull one of these out and you're ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to work on this little 3x3 guy. So the first thing you're going to do is take your square and your black pen, and we're just going to make a dot near each corner of our square, like that. And then take your pen and you're going to connect those dots, and these lines do not have to be straight. They can have a little bit of a wiggle to them. It kind of gives us a nice character. Okay, just like that. Next thing we're going to do is add some dividing lines to the center. So this is going to divide our space into smaller sections. So I'm going to start with one big loop and a couple other lines. So now I have my card divided into smaller sections. So each one of these small sections is then going to be filled with a doodle pattern or tangle pattern. If you purchased the kit that we offered through the studio, you would have received some sheets that looked something like this, and they would have a finished doodle pattern on the bottom, and then they would have a step-by-step to follow along how to create that pattern for yourself. So if you don't have the booklet or you didn't order the kit, you can hop onto the internet and Google search any designs and patterns and use whatever you can find on there. Okay, so I'm going to have my pattern right beside me so I can look off of it. So this is the one I'm going to start with. And the whole idea behind having these patterns already laid out for you is so that you don't have to spend a lot of time thinking about what am I going to draw. The whole point of this art form is to be relaxing and almost meditative, so you don't want to have to spend a bunch of time stressing about what pattern or how am I going to use that pattern. If you have the patterns all ready to go, then all you have to do is copy it. So it eliminates that whole element. So I'm going to start with these little circle kind of bubbles here. So I'm going to pick a section on my square and I'm going to start filling it in. So step one is just to draw some random circles throughout the section that I want to fill. Next step is to put another circle inside. And then draw some little hatch mark lines on the inside of that second circle. And some little dots inside that. Okay. So the idea behind these patterns is they're meant to be inspiration. You don't have to copy them identically to how you see them on here. It's just supposed to give you an idea. So if your circles don't quite look the same, or you want to color in a certain section, or you want to not put the dots in, or not put the little lines in, that's completely up to you. You can change it however you see fit. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to work on this next section. I do quite a lot of these, so I have a favorite doodle. My favorite doodle is the swirl. So I'm going to continue filling this section in with some little swirls. I'm a lefty, so I have to be careful about not dragging my hand across my card so I don't end up with a handful of ink. Lefties out there, y'all know what I'm talking about. Go. So I have 3 more sections to fill in, and I'm going to finish the background of this guy here. So I'm going to choose a few more patterns and get that all filled in. Okay, so now that I've got all my patterns completed, if I had some colored pens or some pencil crayons, I could go in and add some color to this as well. So maybe doing some of the borders and things with color and just really get creative with it. So something small like this, 3x3 little square, usually takes you 20 to 30 minutes to complete. If you're working on one of the bigger 6x6 squares, something this size, this is going to take you probably maybe an hour to complete. So depending on how much time you want to spend, and if you're okay to, you know, come back and forth to it, you don't necessarily have to finish it all in one sitting. But if you're using it as a way to relax and de-stress, giving yourself that time limit is always nice. So just saying, I'm going to spend 20 minutes just relaxing and doing some doodle drawing can really help alleviate some stress, especially during, you know, the things that are going on in our world today. So it's nice to just kind of think about something else for a little bit and let your mind just be creative for a bit. So I hope you guys enjoy, and happy creating.